Because everyone else that really come from the ghetto know one thing, homie. You don't want to really kill each other. And I'm sick of acting like they do because they look tough. You shut that up, let these boys rap, man. Let these boys rap, man. Ain't nobody gonna scare nobody out of doing nothing. Ain't nobody gonna knock nobody. You ain't getting the Drake, homie. And you're not getting the Kendrick. Both sides shut that street up. Because as massive as an artist as Drake is, I would argue that he doesn't have the culture cachet to where they're gonna sit down and say, oh, he said drop a 29 in the spot with the drop. You know what? When Kendrick met his wife, she was 29.
Off-white Sunseeker had the marina. A phantom, I like to buy yachts when I get the fever.
That Kendrick Lamar got that flow like this, damn near like that Loaded Lux. It's good as the crack rolled in, but it's that folding. And I know, but you know, he got that flow. I truly believe that there's no room for the street talk. These are two powerful people. A lot of money is at play. Ain't gonna be nothing but a whole bunch of people going to jail if they start playing street games. Gonna be a bunch of going to jail and careers lost. If they start playing street games, you ain't gonna do nothing but go in the trick bag.
Bang a set my Chuck T. You know who even bang a set out there? CB.
This is a mistake. This is a mistake. You have very little understanding of gang politics to think you're gonna drop their names and then that's gonna do something. What you're dealing with is Drake done this in Philly and he think that's gonna work in LA. It's a different thing in LA. So I remember when Drake and Meek was into it and he dropped ARAB name and next thing you know he pop out with ARAB and it's this whole thing. I think it's a mistake to lump everybody in. You ignore Rick Ross because Rick Ross is gonna make up for what Kendrick lacks at. I'm gonna say that Future may have thought that him and Drake actually built a solid relationship. Maybe in the back of Future's head, he believes Drake looks at all these rap dudes like they need him. But I think Future may have built up enough culture cachet to feel like Drake, no, I don't need him. It's mutually beneficial. And you would see that with some of the number ones that Future has got, he's remained on top 10 and things of that nature. But when it came out that Future may have been upset with him about the 21 Savage her loss thing. Don't use the nuke. Don't use the nuke, man. Use the nuke. This is you already at war. Use the nuke, my man. I said, well, damn, man. Future had just sold his catalog. You know, he had just sold his publishing. And so if I sell my publishing and you are my friend, and you do have a slot to do another collab album with someone, and here I am owning zero music, you will probably give it to the guy that's been with you the entire time, that's been riding with you outside of giving it to your little brother Savage. That is a symbol. If the woman that you tried to marry, I now have that ring. Hey, yo, send me a bag, man. Yeah, send me a bag, man. That's all the boy. Yeah, you use it. You know that ain't you, that's me. You know that's me. Send me a bag. Wrong with you using all my shit? Send me a bag. Soft ass.
Now niggas wanna loon me to death. Salute, Loon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my man, Loon.
That's my man too.
Both Loons. Old Loon, new Loon, both Loons.
Okay.
Yeah,
All ops must know it's up there and it's stuck there, nigga.
When it's up there, man, it's stuck there.
Shut up.
Yo, let's take a break from the show. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America. Yeah, I said it, I meant it. It's on the flow. Get it. It's on the flow at Prize Picks. Get it. It's on the flow at Prize Picks. Let me explain something to you. They turning $10 into $1,000 at Prize Picks. You use my code IUTP and you a new sign up. Man, guess what? We shoot something to you, put something on the name, not the game, and put something in your bank. You hear me? Man, listen, pick up what I'm putting down, man. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. All you got to do is test your skills. You ran with Steph Curry, put yours on Steph Curry. You ran with LeBron, put yours on LeBron. You ran with Saquon Barkley, put yours on. Yeah, that's how it go. Caitlin Clark, put yours on, right? And if you support me, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Do yourself a favor. Sign up right now, prizepicks.com. Use my code IUTP. Ain't nothing bigger than this airplane. It's up there. Let's get back to the show.
Around with the hitters. I got a whole lot of muscle and I can't wait to go and flex up on the stripper. Bitch won't smoke, wanna fuck my chain. Pull up in the project, been a move same. Hanging with Bato, they bustin' your brain. Young rich nigga ready to catch them stain.
Welcome to It's Up There podcast. I go by Big Loon. I want to welcome every single person that's watching this to another episode of It's Up There podcast. Man, we are in a monumental time in hip hop. We got a few of our legends going back to back, going head to head, going toe to toe, round for round. So I believe we are in a great position today to come here and speak about it. I do not want to bore everybody with some of the details that's already been distributed through the media. We want to kind of make sure that you get our perspective as you watch this. But if you are here, I want you to hit the like button, hit the share button, and make sure you subscribe and come to patreon.com for more interviews and episodes of It's Up There podcast. Listen, we're in a grateful position. We're doing great. The business is moving, the brand is moving, and people are seeming to enjoy what we bring to the culture. We are unbiased. We are probably one of the only people out there that cannot be bought. We have not been seen in any kind of compromising situation as it pertains to financially embarrassed. So we won't be in a position to be swayed in any way. Our opinion in that moment is our opinion, but we do reserve the right to change our mind when presented with new information. I want to put that out there because it's nasty in media land right now. For those of you that's been living under a rock, we do have Drake and Kendrick Lamar in what is called the biggest hip-hop battle of all time. Let's get some business out the way first, though. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. For those of you who don't know what Prize Picks is the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America. If you are a strategic individual and you need to try to make a buck, you head to prizepicks.com. Use my code IUTP. If you're a new sign up, we'll match you. You literally can turn $10 to $100. You can turn $100 to $1,000. This stuff is way more easier than you would expect for something like this to be with that type of favor on your side. So if you're someone that listens to It's Up There podcast and you're interested in that, head over, sign up, use our code. Shout out to Prize Picks. That's what keeps this operation continuing to go. So shout out to everybody on that forefront. Now let's get to it. Kendrick Drake. For those unaware, the last time I spoke with y'all, I told you what my opinion was about the Future and Drake, what my opinion was about the Kendrick. And I'm going to be honest. If we're looking back at things, I've been right. I have not been so far gone, no pun intended, as it pertains to my narrative and actually what's taking place. So I want the people that's been watching me, if you listen to those episodes, make sure you put in the comments like, yo, bro, you called it, or you was right on it, or you was right on point. Because we seem to look at things and get information out of them. It's context clues left in everything that happens, right? For those unaware, last time we were here, Drake dropped the AI song and he dropped Push-Ups. Now, again, I have not heard a song yet that's just throwing me off the roof, right? I want to be clear with that. But the last time we was here, Drake dropped Push-Ups and then he dropped the AI track with Tupac, Snoop, and himself called Tailor Made, which a cease and desist later came after that. I'm not sure we even spoke about that because I did get sick. And we went to the Black Effect Podcast Festival, so we've been kind of gone. Again, I told y'all that I believe Tailor Made and some of those songs ended up dropping because it was kind of forced into dropping. I think the AI version or the leaked version went out, and it would have took all the steam out of it, so he kind of had to drop it, but in real time. And listen, that's my opinion. I have no inside information on that. But these songs doesn't give me the Drake feel that I'm kind of used to getting when we talk about these things. Like when we talk about him in Common or, you know, him, somebody like this one. I'll play one of them that I really was like, yo, this is really what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on some shit like this.
Okay. So if you rebuke me for working with someone else on a couple of V's, what do you really think of the nigga that's making your beats? I've done things for him I thought that he never would need. Father had to stretch his hands out and get it from me. I pop style for 30 hours, then let him repeat. Now you popping up with the jokes, I'm dead, I'm asleep. I just left from over by y'all putting pen to the sheets. Tired of sitting quiet and helping my enemies eat. Keep getting temperature checks, they know that my head overheats. Don't know why the fuck you niggas listen to Denim and Steve. Musta had your infrared wrong, now your head in a beam. Y'all are the spitting image of whatever jealousy breeds.
So when you get that from Drake, right, and it's like in the heat of the moment, it's like I'm looking for witty. I don't know. I really don't know the terminology of what it is that I'm asking for Drake, but it's almost like the Power Rangers, right? It's like, yo, the red Power Ranger, the green Power. It's like Drake has different versions of himself, right? And the combat version of Drake that people are looking for, I'm not sure that I've actually saw him arrive yet. Right now, this is up until this point right here, right? Because I'm gonna talk to y'all from Euphoria on. Again, just for some context setting, we have Drake, we have Kendrick going head to head, toe to toe in a battle. These guys are actually taking their prominent positions, coming off their thrones, and saying, "Yo, let's get in the middle of the ring." So after the push-ups and the tailor-made, Kendrick's on the clock. 17 days go by. On the 17th day, Kendrick Lamar pops up. Now, when Kendrick Lamar pops up, I ain't gonna lie. When I first heard Euphoria, I said, oh, let's listen to a little bit of it. I think what you're gonna be dealing with is a masterclass as to, no, I'm not coming there, you come here. So you're gonna have Drake doing what he does and Kendrick doing what he does, and for somebody to win this, they got to come out of their corners. You see what I'm saying? It's just like these two dudes is still swinging in the corners. It's like, yo, y'all got to come to the middle of the ring where all of your attributes and all of your strengths may not be on display, where one of your weaknesses may be up for grabs, where someone may hit you with a left hook. You ain't been working on keeping yourself covered when you throw that jab. You know, so I'm thinking that we're not looking at a brawl. We're still looking at the first round where niggas still got their game plan intact. Niggas still got their game plan intact. He just, man, it ain't really just got to the point where fuck the game plan. We just fighting now. We 5-6 rounds in. That shit ain't working no more. I'm tired. See, if you're a boxer, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? The first couple of rounds, you still thinking about what you did in training. Man, I got this nigga ass, man. I'm patient. You know, you ain't been rocked yet. And that's what it feels like. But when he starts off slow like this, he's letting you know, I'm not coming over there in the club with you. I'm not doing that club shit with you, right? You do that back-to-back shit, that sing-along club shit. I'm doing this right here, slowing it down, dissecting you, breaking you down. That's what I'm on. Be this part right here. If I'm dealing with tailor-made, push-ups, Euphoria, and like that, I'll give it to Kendrick. But the like that is a cheat code. You see what I'm saying? But even with just this part right here, this is well put together. And it sounds good. This sounds good. And this is what I'm saying about staying in your own realm. He go to hitting them with the USB. That first part right there was, I'm playing in your world a little bit, but I'm not trying to come on there and live with you there. And also, I think that I can play in that club world a little bit if I'm Kendrick, but if you Drake, I don't know if you can play in this introspective world with me. Here's the conundrum, though. Even if Drake can perform over there in the same way that Kendrick does, Drake hasn't earned that respect from the audience, and that's what is going to decide this thing. What I've been more amazed in and interested in on top of the diss records is the patience, the equity that Kendrick Lamar has with the culture, their willingness to look past the beat being non-traditional, look past the flow being all over the place, look past singing, it's a lot happening, but he's earned a level of respect from the culture where they say, listen though. And it ain't many people that got that. And I'm almost gonna say that Drake don't even got that. And we'll get into the meat and potatoes of that soon. last time that Rick Ross was kind of getting ahead of some of the narratives, you know what I'm saying, and that Kendrick was gonna probably have to reiterate some of the things that's already been said. My opinion that it would have took some of the steam off of it, and it did, in my opinion, but it still was effective. This beat, this track, this set was effective, in my opinion. If I'm going by what I think, Drake hasn't had his first attempt yet. If my theory is correct, then Drake was forced to put push-ups out. And Taylor Made was just kind of like a slap. It really wasn't. It was kind of trying to inflate the ball that I think you're about to come to the court with. But Drake got to be careful not to have too much out there. Like, we need real effort from Drake at this point, because this dude not playing that game. He's not wasting a bar. He's not wasting a segment. Even if the music isn't hidden, there's something there that you can take to the next round. And that's what I'm saying. What I've saw Drake do is like the jab that don't really hit a nigga, just keep him back. And this dude is actually, he doing the floor thing. Boom, and everything is hidden. Even if it ain't effective yet, it's a point game. Boom, it's boom. You know what I'm saying? And he's actually tapping you. And so he's scraping up points. And what it feels like Drake done with them first two was, and I ain't gonna say that they're bad records, but it ain't the person that I thought was showing up with the jiu-jitsu moves. I thought you had a nigga showing up with high-level jiu-jitsu move that were gonna put a nigga in a rear naked choke, tap him out, leg lock, tap him out, right? I'm thinking you dealing with a beast. So these first two just feel like, stay back, respect my jab. You know, it's like I'm throwing punches to let you know I throw them. It ain't time for that, because this now has turned into a real squabble. There's no more time to be throwing these jabs that land in the air and just keep your opponent off for you. You need to be hitting to knock out, because you keep playing, these boys gonna knock you out now. So up into Euphoria. Again, I'm gonna reiterate that Drake has, in my opinion, been forced to put push-ups out. He put Taylor Made out strategically to try to get ahead of some of the narrative that he believed Kendrick to come to the table with. Don't know how effective that was, if it was effective at all, but that's my opinion. After Euphoria drops, Drake comes out and drops right back. I don't even think he gave the boy a day. Now, this is Drake trying to use his strengths against Kendrick. Is Drake misinformed? Because what it feels like is Drake thinks, oh, you can't come right back. You take too long. You taking long. I'm on your ass. You taking long, and I can create like that. And so Drake comes back, and he gives you, in my opinion, what is his first real effort at shooting down Kendrick Lamar. I find it interesting that, in particular on the West Coast, you know, because I'm media, so I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm not biased. I don't really give a damn who don't like it. But in media, in particular, you got a lot of people on the West Coast, not even media, just people in the industry. You know, some of my peers in this industry is just like, no matter what happens, they're riding with Kendrick. They don't give a damn what's going on. And for me, that's disingenuous. I have little respect for someone who cannot grasp new information, who can't see the forest because of the trees. Now, if it was some street shit happening, people dying, that's one thing. But this is rap. And so on one end, I'm saying, yo, that's not cool to be like that. But on the other end, media has got so loud with academics and others who's clearly biased and compromised that you have to have the other side just as loud as that side. This is kind of what I was telling the South for so long. You know, and so that's what I mean when I say, yo, you got to have your media people intact, man, that's going to be able to go out there and get your narrative out and let people know what you think and feel and how you really navigate this space. It's a very simple equation, if you ask me. But they cannot front on that Canadian dude. They cannot front on the boy Aubrey. Because I keep telling y'all, Aubrey got it in him. It's just, I don't know if he think that, don't use the nuke. Don't use the nuke, man. Use the nuke. This is you already at war. Use the nuke, my man. Ain't no more time pussyfooting around. Use the nuke, my nigga. Because it look like they think Canadians dry. You got to use the nuke, my nigga. You can't be sitting around, oh man, wait till that nigga say one more thing, I'm gonna get him, because you're gonna look up, he gonna be done piled up so many narratives, and you in a hole now. It feels like Drake is being a little too strategic with the unleashing of the combination. He need to unleash a combination. Now, shortly after this, again, Drake drops his diss. It's called Family Matters. It is his first, in my opinion, real attempt to actually get a chance to really sit down and shoot at Kendrick Lamar. Let's take a listen to what that's sounding like. Nick is understanding to even put these lyrics on screen, right? Because people are really looking into this and trying to see what is being said. Kendrick don't got to do that because they gave him a level of respect in the culture. I don't know what it is about Kendrick that is, well, I do know what it is. He's very talented, and he's introspective, right? He's giving things that's giving things to the culture. See what I'm saying? And so this is a prime example. You reap what you sow. Because what happens is when you put in the culture things that have to make people stop and think, and you've been doing it for 10 or 15 years, and you think, man, this shit don't get as much play as the Drake nigga. It don't probably make as much money, do as much chart topping as the Drake. But the skill set and the development of your audience to run alongside you will now aid and abet and comfort you in war, right? In this matchup between you and Drake, now all of those years of being introspective and putting layers and layers of bars and grabbing this sample that really means this and reading that book and putting this name and dropping this book in there, all of that now comes out and shines bright when you sitting alongside somebody who didn't work as hard as you as it pertains to that. Because as massive as an artist as Drake is, I would argue that he doesn't have the culture cachet to where they're going to sit down and say, oh, he said, drop a 29 in the spot with the drop. You know what? When Kendrick met his wife, she was 29. That's why he said 29. Like, they don't do that for Drake. They only do that for Kendrick. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. You have very little understanding of gang politics to think you're going to drop their names and then that's going to do something. What you're dealing with is Drake done this in Philly and he think that's going to work in L.A. It's a different thing in L.A. So I remember when Drake and Meek was into it and he dropped A.R.A.B. name and next thing you know he pop out with A.R.A.B. and it's this whole thing. The powers that be is still in place in L.A. There's still some kind of structure in LA. I mean, every hood has its enemies and anything can happen. But for the most part, I would say it'll be harder to pull that move in LA than it was in Philly because of the gang structure, right? So when you say CB name, he got a big homie. YG, these dudes got big homies, street dudes they respect that no matter how much money they got, you know, they got to kind of check in with the homeboys and ain't nobody bigger than the program. So I think this is a mistake to drop all of these West Coast people name almost to act as if they're riding with me instead of you, or not even that they're riding with me, but to even reference them as a mistake. To me, it's a mistake because there's politics in that go well beyond this music. And it's one thing you rap niggas and entertainers and niggas with money got to understand that money don't mean shit when you get down off up in the ghetto. Money don't mean shit down off up in the ghetto. It's about respect. A lot of them niggas you know that got money can't step foot in the ghetto. And it ain't because they too good. It's because they know better. Ain't nobody gonna respect the handle. You can't wear that watch. You can't drive that car. You can't leave with the shit you came with. Yeah. The shit you pulled to the hood with, you gonna get removed from you when you leave the hood, homie. In my opinion, it's a mistake to reference YG, Chris Brown, The Game, and be saying if I was Drake. Kendrick, you ain't no gangbanger. I was just on a live with somebody from the West Coast. You know, shout out to my brother Rashad, Earn Your Leisure. We had a whole live. Shout out to Watts and some of the homies that was on there. And they keep trying to tell me about Kendrick Lamar background. What about his background? What are you telling me about his background? What y'all niggas telling me about the niggas' backgrounds? What y'all niggas telling me about the backgrounds of these rap niggas? Tell me. Because I know cold hard street niggas when I say. So a rap nigga, you tell me what made Kendrick background so hard that he's so far removed from what Drake is. To where we gonna just hand Kendrick the gangster card. No, man. Some of the OGs out on the West Coast, shout out to Top and shout out to some of them people, they got respectable handles. But Kendrick Lamar, somebody tell me, oh, he come up in Compton. Man, I know niggas grew up in the projects. You can smack the shit out them niggas, man. Them niggas ain't finna do nothing. So just coming up in the ghetto don't mean nothing. Just coming up around here don't make you tough. I know dumb niggas in the ghetto. I know niggas that gang banging at 50 that come up in the ghetto. So what the fuck you niggas telling me that you learn this big boy set of skills coming from the ghetto that's gonna make you whoop a square? Now, if you are thinking, which I do believe Kendrick to be thinking, if you are thinking, you can whoop a square. But I don't know personally Kendrick Lamar's story. You will probably give it to the guy that's been with you the entire time, that's been riding with you outside of giving it to your little brother Savage. Now, Drake being the guy he is, yo, I can give it to who I want to give it to, but man, if I've been riding with you, I'm going to look at you funny. And it's the second time you done this to me. If you remember, Future and Drake had a situation about Tony Montana where Drake didn't want to come and do the video. It's almost felt like Drake didn't understand that Future was going to be Future. Because sometimes these people will close their eyes and listen to the record and be like, well, damn, it don't really sound like what I make. I don't think it's going to go. And you got to lean not to your own understanding sometimes. Some people are just the culture. I say that about me a lot of times. Like, luckily our numbers look good, but sometimes people will just look at the numbers to try to navigate whether or not to do a deal. And I try to tell people this cachet that you can't, it's cachet you got to consider. It's cachet you got to consider. And so when I let you do that to me with the Tony Montana, then you double back and do the joint album with Savage, and I really can't say none because it ain't P for me to come out and say, damn, homie, you went and done the thing with Savage because I want my little homie Savage to eat too. Like, I ain't trying to take no money out the Savage nigga pocket. You dig what I'm saying? But this less about Savage and more about you, right? When you was damn near corny, I wrapped my arm around you. Why you ain't, right? So fuck you, I don't need you. And so I truly believe that it had something to do with Drake's inability to do that joint album with Future. Because if you ask me, they already got one in the tuck. There's probably literally an album with Future and Drake done already right now that just needs some signatures for Future. I don't know if that's the case or not. I mean, I think that was a pretty predictable angle to know that he's probably going to say something about family. That's kind of all he got on me. So let's put something in the chamber about his family. When he drops it, we drop it. And it sounds like a response, but it ain't a response. Because you can't respond to it until you write to it. And you didn't know what I was dropping, right? It's a reply, not a response. A reply isn't necessarily tailor-made for the conversation, but it is something, it's a placeholder. It's like, oh, don't let that live for a long time. Got something about your family as well. You know, I think it's interesting, right? The beat selections from Kendrick. It's clearly, I'm not playing that game with you. Like Euphoria gave me an up-tempo, kind of gave me like a production of more in a Drake lane, but it's like he's trying to pull Drake over to bring some of those 808s out of it. Let's get away from some of all of that background noise. Let's listen to what you're saying. And if I'm Drake, I don't play that game with him. You know, maybe in a different way, but I don't play it in this way. Like these kind of beats, I don't know that Drake needs to be doing this kind of beat thing. I mean, I believe the contrast of it is so interesting that it's just like polar opposites. You know, in the South, these kind of beats right here, that don't work. In beef, this don't work in beef. We don't want to hear this in beef. This shit here, this slow shit like this here, we don't want to hear this in beef. I think what you're seeing Kendrick do is a very calculated attempt of a takedown. Here's another thing I don't like about a lot of you industry dudes. You dudes are so arrogant. You don't do no research. You don't be knowing who you talking to. And so I was having a conversation the other day, and I don't know DJ Head, and you know, we've saw each other a few times. We don't have no personal problem. And I don't know if he was talking about me, but he was in a chat and of a conversation that I was in. As I was explaining my point of view, he would say something like, well, it's like having a stock conversation with someone who doesn't do stocks. And so here these guys are in the industry that just assume that you don't have a background in music. Now, let me inform any one of you degenerates that you're wrong about Loon. If you think Loon don't have a background in music, I've been a part of very successful songs written by me. So let's get that out the way. Even though in this culture, I think it's nasty to position things that way. From the other side where it's like, oh, well, they don't understand music because I don't like a beat. Well, no, I just don't like the beat. Nah, yeah, I understand music. I just don't like the beat, brother. You ain't no better than me because a record label been paying you for 20 years. That shit don't mean nothing to me. If I come from the ghetto and I write a song to get picked up and make me $400-500 grand and buy my people a house, and that's my first thing doing at a young age, like for me, that's a beautiful lesson. That's a beautiful thing. But you can't shame somebody because you've been taking checks from record labels all your life. And then on the other side of that, it'll be some of those guys, and not DJ Head because I don't know him, but it'll be some of those same industry niggas that'll then try to speak for the streets. Say, bro, you been in the building 20 years working for them people. You don't know nothing about the streets, and I don't care who co-signed you. We don't even accept cosigns where I'm from, bro. Don't nobody get you a pass where I'm from. Nobody. You hear me? You could be, nigga, don't nobody get you no pass where I'm from. So I don't care nothing about a cosign. I'm not the guy that's going to respect you because I met you and you was standing next to such and such. That don't mean nothing. Every man get my respect until he lose my respect. I don't look at you no different because you hang with such and such. Fuck you and such and such. And it's only in the industry where they had this God complex like this. This don't got nothing to do with regular people. Regular street people, regular business working men. This only happens in the industry where these suckers get a position in this industry and then go to thinking like they are. Well, I don't even pay attention.
Now he wondering why DMX blow them out. Next time grown folks talking, bitch, close your mouth. Peep me, I take this world shit deeply. Done seen too many real niggas ball. I let these bitch niggas beat me black. Use a motherfucking punk or you'll see me with gloves. Quit scaring them fucking kids with your ugly ass mouth. And you can tell them niggas you roll with whatever you want. But you and I know what's going on. Nigga, payback, I know your bitch ass from way back. When it's me strapped with Max, knew I don't play that. All these old rappers trying to advance. It's all over now, take it like a man. Herb looking like Larry Holmes, flabby and sick. Trying to play a hit on my shit. Made a fat dick. Loving this shit, that's how you made me. Feeling like I got you niggas crazy. Against all odds. Hoping my dog motherfuckers know. This be the realest shit I ever wrote. Against all odds, up in the studio, getting blowed to the truest shit I ever spoke.
Hey yo, I've been one of the most humble, rep the streets to the core. Hey Jeffrey, what the fuck you come involving me for? It's been a long time coming, like a blessing.
So even with that, right? Even that beat, even that style, you know, those things, that was an okay diss. It wasn't the best, but nah. So we, you know, just shit like that, Hail Mary beats and shit. It just, the beat selection has to be just as important as the lyric selection, just as important as the cover selection. In this next one, we're gonna get into all of the intricate details. We're gonna get into media's role. We're gonna get into some of the pictures that's been released, some of the narratives been put out, how they've been used, academics being compromised, all of those things, right? I like to keep these things about 45 minutes. So I see y'all on the next one. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit like. And we have unreleased stuff on Patreon. Patreon.com. It's up there, podcast. You already know the vibes. Big Loon, don't let them trick you because they can't trick me. I ain't going for nothing. Skid it.